is happening. I'm super, super excited right now to go live. Come on in, come on in. I am doing a prophetic activation series for entrepreneurs. Come on in, come on in. I'm going to set the mood. We are going to have some music. I'm going to put some music on. Come on in. Tell me where you're from. Tell me when you're from. I want to know where you're from. I'm telling you, I have a word tonight. I have a word tonight. I'm actually going live now. I decided to go live. Hello, Yannick. What's happening? Hi, where are you from? Where are you from? I'm actually in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Listen, I have a word for you. I have a word for you. This is day 3. This is day 3. I'm actually doing a prophetic activation series for entrepreneurs. So come on in. I like to say come on into the birthing room. I love to say that. Come on in. I am Tanya Tanika. I'm a business midwife. I've been in business for 20 years. I've had brick and mortars. I've done a lot. And I believe right now God is saying that it is time for the generals to arise, the generals in the marketplace to arise. So, you're a new entrepreneur. Welcome, Yannick. Tell me what you're doing. Oh, we're going to get into the word today. We are going to do it big. All right. For those of you already in the VIP, we have been having so much fun. Breakthroughs like you would not believe inside VIP. When I tell you what, we had today, we actually had, so it's every day at 12 Eastern time. While everybody's popping on in, we had a woman that had the thought of a six-figure prosperity blueprint, a six-figure prosperity blueprint. By the time we were done looking at all that she had within her and the things and the ideas, we literally mapped out an 8-figure blueprint. When I tell you, she was so excited. And of course, I'm excited because I love to activate entrepreneurs. It was powerful. Hey, come on in. We are about to go. All right. Now, listen. We are going to talk about the fact that we will not stay silent. That is the name of day 3. We will not stay silent. That's awesome. That is awesome, Yannick. Hello, Asia. Come on into the birthing room. Listen, the word right now is the generals need to arise. You cannot stay silent any longer. We talked about earlier today in day 2, we talked about muzzling an ox, right? We talked about muzzling an ox and how you should not muzzle an ox. That was on day 2, right? And God gave me this word in 1 Samuel 30. He gave me this word in 1 Samuel 30, and I'm just gonna flow. I'm just gonna flow. Actually, let me go ahead because I know a few of you guys have asked me. You guys have asked me of how to get into VIP so you can work with me personally, right? So you can work with me personally and you can get the replays of the videos. Okay, I'm gonna put this in the chat and I'm gonna pin it to the top. There will be no replay after this. I will be taking it down. I will be taking it down. There will be no replay. There will be no replay. Hallelujah. 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 I believe there's certain ones that are serious about their business, that are serious about putting their hands to the plow, that are serious about what they're called to, that they know the time is now and they're not willing to stay silent. I believe those are the ones that are going to step into VIP with me and we're going to activate. We're going to get your blueprint. We're going to see exactly how you are wired, how God wired you according to the 5-fold model, activation model that I have. Yes? And we're not going to stay silent anymore. And I believe that those of you that have an ear to hear are going to join me in VIP because you know that the time is now and you need to be activated to that next level, whether you're shifting, transitioning, or pivoting. But you know that the time is now and you don't have time to waste. And you know what? Before I start, I heard Hebrews, and I'm going to talk about this. This is the level of maturity that we need to now have in the body. This is where God was telling me that the generals are arising. The generals are arising. This is what needs to be activated right now. The generals in the marketplace. It is now time for the marketplace influencers, the marketplace leaders to arise. Because you are here to create wealth. The transference of the wealth of the wicked is transferred over to the righteous. Let me tell you, that is going to be from the generals. The generals are going to get that transference. The generals are going to get that transference. Listen, this is what it says. It says in Hebrew, he's talking about in Hebrews 5 and 11. He says, we have a great deal to say about this, and it's difficult to explain since you have become too lazy to understand. Although by this time, you ought to be teachers, you need someone to teach you the basic principles of God's revelation. Again, you need milk, not solid food. Now, everyone who lives on milk is inexperienced with the message about righteousness because he is an infant. But solid food is for the mature, for those whose senses have been trained to distinguish between good and evil. These are the generals that I deal with. These are the entrepreneurs. These are the entrepreneurs that God is calling right now for me to activate. The 5-fold in the marketplace. These are the ones that are eating food, the ones that are not on milk, the ones that are ready. They're ready to be activated. They're ready to impact nations and have a voice for the nations. They are ready to influence and impact. He said this in the beginning of 6. Therefore, leaving the elementary message about the Messiah, let us go on to maturity, not laying again the foundation of repentance from dead works, faith in God, teaching about ritual washing of hands and laying on of hands and resurrection of the dead and eternal judgment. Listen, he's telling you right here. Let us go on to maturity and not having to lay down the same foundation. How many times? How many times? God is asking everybody, how many times? This is a level of purification that we've gone on in these last years. It's now time for the generals to arise in the marketplace. So I'm calling the generals to arise. I'm calling on the generals, the ones that are serious. You're ready to go. Type a 1 in the chat. Are you a general? Type a 1 in the chat if you are a general. Are you ready to fulfill the call of God in your life, impact nations, your sphere of influence? You're ready. Enough is enough. You want to put away the old systems and the old models, and you want to be able to conquer Babylon. It's time. It's time. And if you're watching this, that means that the time is anointed and appointed time, like Esther, because I will tell you this, there is no replay when I'm done teaching this. There is no replay. So I have my generals. I see Angel. I see Asia. I see Denise. Come on now. Ready to rise up. Ready to rise up. I love it. I love it. So let's go. I want to break this down. We're going to talk about day 3. I won't stay silent. I refuse to stay silent. I gotta salute. Listen, it comes from this text, and and God gave me a rundown, literally in a matter of moments. Literally in a matter of moments, because I had to shift. I had to make a shift. I was teaching at 9 in the morning. And I knew I had to make the shift. And it resonated with my spirit that I'm going to come back 7 o'clock each night. 7 o'clock each night until Friday. But there will be no replays. I will take this down as soon as I'm done. Listen, there's a clarion call. There's a clarion call. I don't know if you're hearing it. I don't know if you feel it in your spirit. I've been hearing it. I've been sensing it. But those that have ears to hear are hearing this clarion call. They know that they need to rise up. They know that they're one of those generals that have a voice for nations, and the time is now. So let's go ahead and get to day 3 training. Day 3 training of the prophetic activation. Okay? So here we go. We're going to go to 1 Samuel. We're going to go to 1 Samuel, and it's 30. And I want you to be able to read it on your own because God's going to give you revelation. But there's some things that God said. In here, he was telling me, listen, go get the spoils. Go get what is yours. Go in to the enemy's territory and go grab it. But there's a way that things have happened where he showed me in how you go in and grab the territory, grab the spoils, the gains. Here we go. So we're talking about in 1 Samuel 30, okay? And this is where David and his men arrived in Ziklag on the 3rd day. And the Amalekites had raided the Negev and attacked and burned down Ziklag. They also had kidnapped the women and everyone in it, from the youngest to the old. They had killed no one, but had carried them off as they went on their way. This is important. When David and his men arrived at the town, they found it burned down. Their wives, sons, and daughters had been kidnapped. David and the troops with him wept loudly until they had no strength left to weep. Have you ever been there? Have you had a situation as an entrepreneur in business, birthing the dream that you have that God has given you, and you are literally at this point of breakdown, crying? Whether the enemy took whatever it is, whether it was your ignorance, whether it was lack of experience, whatever it is, type a 1 in the chat. Have you been there where you've just been weeping, where you had no strength left? This is what happens next. David's 2 wives, they have crazy names, so I am not going to say anything about their names, but it's, both of his wives and Abigail, the widow of Nabal, the Carmelite, had been also kidnapped. David was in a difficult position because the troops talked about stoning him, for they were all very bitter over the loss of their sons and daughters. Let me ask you, put a 1 in the chat. Have you been in a place where the same people that were walking with you, the same people that were in the cave, the same people that you poured your life into, the same people were the ones who wanted to stone you afterwards because they didn't like where they went? Because everybody has to go through these struggles, right? Everybody has to go through this process of testing, and not everybody's going to like it. And there comes a point. So have you been here? Put a 1 in the chat. Right? But listen, David went before God before he opened his mouth to make sure that when he opened his mouth, God was going to be with him. He wasn't going to stay silent, but he wanted to ask first, should he stay silent or not? I'm getting 1s all over. I'm getting 1s all over. Come on now. This is the life of an entrepreneur. I'm talking to the serious entrepreneurs only. I'm talking about the generals that have been through hell and back, that know that they have a call of God in their life, and maybe nobody believes them. But in Jesus' name, they are going to put their hands to the plow, and they're not going to look back, and they're going to believe that they're going to see fruit. Here we go. But David found strength in the Lord. He found strength in the Lord, not in his people, in the Lord. David said to Abiathar, the priest, the son of Amalek, bring me the ephod. So Abiathar brought it to him. And David asked the Lord, should I pursue these raiders? Will I overtake them? Listen, before you go to try to rebuttal back to the people that came against you, the enemy, any of those things, as an entrepreneur, you're in the marketplace, you influence. So you're leading when you don't even realize you're leading. Remember, it flows from the head down, so whomever you're mentoring, they can taste and see. And so he asks God, he goes before God and he says, will I overtake them? Not can I. Will I overtake them? So he went and spoke to God. He had his intimate time. I'm going to share with you, and after we read this, I'm going to share with you what God showed me, the steps. Okay? The Lord replied to him, pursue them, for you will certainly overtake them and rescue the people. So God said, go. I know a lot are hearing this, and this is what really got me. God said, go. He said, go into the enemy's camp and take back. Build that business one more time. Get back out there one more time. Launch that program one more time. Don't give up. He's giving you permission. He's saying that the generals are arising right now in the marketplace. He's saying one more time, go. And this is what David did. He didn't just go. David and the 600 men with him went as far as so what did he do? He gathered people. He gathered his men. So they went all the way to Wadi Basor, where 200 men were to remain behind. They stopped. They couldn't go any further. 600 men left. 200 men dropped off halfway through the journey. I mean, come on now. Come on. Type a 1 in the chat. Have you been there as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, as a man or woman of God? Have you been there? You're just starting to see a little bit of fruit. You're going there. You're really believing. You're launching the program. You're podcasting. You're doing the little things. You're seeing a little bit of fruit. And then bam, you see a dive in your following. You see something happening. Not as many people are staying along with you. You don't really know what to do next. You don't know whether you're transitioning, pivoting. You don't know what. And you're like, God. But what did David do? He went on. This man of God went on. They found an Egyptian. Now, when they went, even though he was exhausted, now mind you, they had already been traveling before they went to Ziklag and found everything gone and their family gone. So they're already grieving. They hadn't gotten over the fact that their family's gone and the thing. Listen, they stopped and they grieved. And then they learned how to pick up themselves by the bootstraps and the resilience that they needed to move forward. Come on, am I talking to somebody? Am I talking to the generals? Am I talking to the VIPs? The ones ready to take action. Listen, they found an Egyptian in the open country and brought him to David. They gave him some bread to eat and water to drink. Then they gave him some pressed figs and 2 clusters of raisins. So listen, they got fed along the way. God knew they were tired, but imagine if those 200 men are you a part of the 200 or are you a part of the 400 that pressed on? Let me ask you, type a 1 in the chat if you are a part of the 400 that pressed on. The ones that are not going to give up, they're relentlessly going to press towards the mark and the prize. They're going to push forward and put their ears inclined to the word of God, the ear, the heart, the bosom of God, and they're going to continuously pursue. Now, in the meantime, take a look at what happens. He says, I am an Egyptian, right? Because David asked him who he is. And David was like, all right, that's great. Will you lead me to these raiders? Listen, David was so focused. He was unrelenting. Yes, God provided along the way. They ate, they refreshed, and then he's like, listen, do you know the raiders? Bring them to me. Like, where can I go? I got to go get them. And we go through and now we go down to 21, where David, he went, he conquered the land, he got his stuff back, right? Now we're moving forward. And guess what he did? He passed. He then passed the 200 men again, the ones that are still in the same spot. Do you remember what I talked about in Hebrews earlier in this broadcast? Do you remember? The ones that were immature, the 200, they stayed right there when after they even had conquered everything, remember? So have you ever been in your business and the same people that left, are the same people that said that they were going to be along with you on the ride. Guess what happened? Guess what happened? When you decided not to stay silent, only a few of you went, only the few people went, the 400 went. Those same 200 were found on the way back. And those 400 men were like, no, 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 nah. Don't give them the spoils. They gave up. What the? They gave up. Why am I going to give them our spoils? No, they should have stayed along. And David creates peace and says, no, stop. We're not going to have this. This is not right. That's not God. How are you going to sit there? God provided for us. He says, God provided for, God did this. And now you're going to sit there and say that they can't have? You only made it this far because God said. And so they all share. Listen, read 1 Samuel 30. And this is where I will not stay silent. I will not stay silent. I will not stay silent. Type a 1 in the chat if you're hearing this. Type a 1 in the chat. If you have been in business and you have seen the same similarities as in 1 Samuel 30, the same similarities, type a 1 in the chat. If you're feeling like David right at this point, right? And you're like, what in the world? I know that I'm called to business. I know I'm called to influence and impact the nations. I know I'm called to operate in my sphere of influence. I know I'm to be a wealth creator. Yes, Asia's right. She says, I'm serious. That applies to everything we go through in life. Yes, it does, because you can't separate the life and the entrepreneur. And so as we're going through this prophetic activation and we are on day 3, I need you to get some resilience in you. And I need you to truly think about and remember what God said to you. And we're going to cast the vision. We're going to write it down. We're going to make it plain. And we're going to be unrelentlessly devoted to being obedient to God. This is why I'm calling on the generals. So this is what I want you to look at. There were a few things that in this story that I wanted to teach from for day 3. I will not be silent. So the first thing was survey. Survey the situation. When you saw David, he came in with his men and he surveyed what was happening. He saw that the raiders came in and they took the land. So he was obedient to just standing still and surveying what happens. I want you to do this in your life, in your business. Take a step back and survey. Think about this. What's really happening in your business? Are you operating in an emotional way? Have you given up a little bit because it's not lining up with what God is saying and you're not able to see whether you should go into the land? So number 1, he surveyed. Number 2, he acknowledged. They wept. They grieved. They cried till they had no more strength. Now, it would be interesting, right? You would think that they would actually have gone into the land, or gone and taken vengeance. Or you would have thought, on another hand, right, that they would have went and prayed to God first. No, they acknowledged. You need to be accountable and understand and acknowledge, be aware and acknowledge what is going on and how you feel in your life. Many of you are not able to make sales. Many of you are not able to do the things that you need to do in your business because you have inner healing and things that need to be done first. Because you're bleeding out on your audience, on your students, on those that are watching you. Yes, most of you guys are working on emotion. The reason why many are successful is because they're able to separate at that moment. Yes, like David, they cried, they wept until they had no more strength. But then after that, even when everybody was coming after them because they were crying, and then all of a sudden they got angry, and now they want to come after David. And then guess what? David stood the ground. He stood the ground. So even though he had just been weeping and crying, and even though now in his own hurt and his own pain, he lost his wives too. He lost, and the people that he was leading didn't even allow him to grieve. They were about to attack him. He had lost the same. But see, he had a different responsibility. You have a different responsibility. You are a leader. You are the influencer. You are the general. So we are here. He has surveyed, acknowledged, and now he stands the ground. And it says David stood in the strength of the Lord. And then what did he do? He gained position. He positioned himself. How did he do that? He went and he got the ephod. He called for the ephod. I hope you guys are getting this, because I'm not going to put this as a replay. As soon as I'm done with this broadcast, it's coming right back down. So he positioned himself against all odds, against everything else, even in the grief, even in everything else. He got himself together. And this is what it requires. This is why entrepreneurship is, it's not the business that's hard, the systems and the function of business. It's what it requires of you as a leader. Come on now, I'm talking to you guys. Put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat if you agree. Business as a whole is simple, but what it requires you to do as a leader, because you're leading once you're an entrepreneur, that's the hard thing. Because now David, whenever he had lost his family too, now his people that he had been leading are now all against him. Not 100 men, not 20 men, not one, but 600 men were straight up pissed. I'm just going to say it just like that. Okay? They were angry. And they were coming after him. But David positioned himself when he got the ephod and said, no, I'm going to go to God in prayer. Then, but I love this part. After this, he postured himself. And I looked at the word of posture. And it meant respect, condition, position of defense. And this was really cool. Not in law. Okay, so in law, the defendants reply to the plaintiff's declaration. In law, the defendants reply to the plaintiff's declaration. To defend. He was ready. But he wanted to know, was God going to go with him? Was he going to be able to conquer? Should he go? So he was willing to hear God say no or hear God say yes. He was so obedient to God. Are you willing to do that in your business? I actually started this challenge this time. It was a challenge, and we're on day 2 now, and I'm doing day 3. But let me show you how this went. So God, I knew I was going to do an event, a 5-day event, right? And then I went ahead and I named it Business by Design. And then immediately, I'm a part of a live streaming group, and the teacher, who is actually an apostle in the marketplace, she said, do you trust me? And I knew something was about to shift. I knew it. And I was like, yes, because see, we all have blind spots, but I trusted her because she's also very prophetic. And so she said, I really believe that it should be a prophetic activation. And because I already knew something was about to shift, but I wasn't quite sure, I went ahead and I did it. And now day 2, and I was on, it was at 9 a.m. every morning. And now it's at 7 p.m. each night. So because I knew that God spoke and I needed to shift and I needed to be obedient, I was ready to do it. Are you willing to do that in your business? Or are you worried about what people are going to say, or who's going to be mad at you, or who's not going to show up? Listen, people are here for you. People are here for you. The anointing on your life. If they're meant to be those 400 men that we talked about earlier, then they will not go anywhere. So David postured himself. He positioned himself with the ephod. Then he postured himself and he asked God, should I go? How many times in your business are you partnering with God, asking him, should you go? Should you do this? Should you do that? How many times? Then what did he do after that? When God said, yes, go, he then gathered. Okay, so what did we talk about? Now he knows he's not going to go silent. But there was a process in that to identify, should he go silent or should he rise? You know if you're a general, and you know if you should be building your business right now. You know. What did he do? He surveyed, he acknowledged, he stood the ground, he positioned, he postured, and then he gathered. And then he gathered. That means he had community. That means he had community to uplift him, because he already knew that there, right after he gathered, guys, literally right after he gathered, and he knew he was going to pursue at all cost, the men got tired and he lost men. He lost 200 men. As soon as he said, God said yes, and he went and gathered in the community, he knew he had to go with community. And why? Because they need to lift him up on every leaning side so he could go forward. Do you have a community? This is why I built Genesis Network. Because there needed to be a community. Because I know that people are going to get weary. They're going to get tired. Right before they're going to get to that breakthrough, they're going to get tired. And they're going to be like the 200 men. If they don't have a community, they're going to fall off. So after he gathered, he pursued. And then he had to be resilient. He had to be resilient and trust God. Be resilient and trust God. And this is where the Egyptian fed him along the way. So do you trust God enough in your business to step out, even when it's uncomfortable, and trust that God is going to provide each and every step of the way? When you're hungry, listen. And then what he did was he stayed focused. He stayed focused because after he ate and after he kind of recharged, right? It was that time. What did he do? He said, hey, do you know where the raiders are? Can you lead me to the raiders? So he already knew. He didn't get distracted. Even though he was in a place of rest, he recognized he needed to rest. He still stayed focused. He didn't get lazy. He didn't stop. He stayed consistent. And he knew what he was doing. He had a mission. He had a goal. Is the goal that you have higher? Is the mission, the call that you have higher than what you can obtain even by yourself? Because see, if it's just, okay, I'm going to, have this small, minute goal just to make yourself feel good that you've reached it, let me ask you, are you partnered with God? Because God is always going to call you to have something above anything you can ask or think. It's always bigger than you. The mission, the goal, the end result is always bigger than you. And then what happened? They conquered. They conquered, they got the spoils, they got the families back. And what did they do? Along the way, the 200 men that had left, they ended up providing for them, even though they didn't make it. So you're here. Some of you, put a 1 in the chat if this resonates with you. You believe that you're like that general, the one that is going to go forward when not many people can actually endure. But you know that you can, and you're going to do it so you can bring back that legacy for your family. Bring back the spoils for your family. You're going to push through against all odds, against the backbiting, the talking, the all that stuff, because you know that you know that you know that you are a wealth creator. You know that you know that you know that you cannot stay silent any longer. Put a 1 in the chat if that's you. If you know you're going to get some backlash, it's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy. There's a lot of people that are against you in business. But guess what? Guess what? I'm getting ones. But you know that you have to lead, and you have to trailblaze, and you have to push through, because no one after you or before you is going to be responsible for doing it. It is going to be you, and you know that you know. Yeah, I'm getting the ones. So what did we learn today? We learned that we're going to go to God, and we cannot be silent. We know that we can't be silent, but there is a way that we also walk things out. We walk it out together in community. Find those 400, that community that's not going to forsake you, not going to leave you, and they're going to push through. They're going to help you. They're going to encourage you. They're going to pour into you. Those times that you're crying and that you need strength. In 1 Samuel 30, I want you to read that. You cannot stay silent any longer. God is calling the generals to arise in business, in the influence, in the areas of marketplace. We need people to infiltrate the media, the systems of Babylon. We need people to infiltrate the government. We need people of character and integrity to stand firm, fixed, and immovable in families, in arts and entertainment. We need the true generals to arise in the marketplace, those entrepreneurs that have fire on their lips. If that's you and you're ready, put a 1. If that's you and you're ready, put a 1. I thank God for you. So we learned today that in 1 Samuel 30, he surveyed, he acknowledged, he stood his ground, he positioned, he postured, he gathered, he pursued, he was resilient and trusted, he focused, he conquered, he provided. And this is the call. This is the clarion call for the generals. And this is why I opened up VIP, the VIP seat. And you'll see the link. I want you guys to be completely activated. The time is now. And this is coming down. This training is coming down right after. There will be no replay. There will be no replay. I want to work with serious entrepreneurs that are ready to be completely activated, that are ready to understand how to walk out what God has for them. I want to work with you face to face and be able to make sure that you have the understanding and the blueprint, that you have the exact products that you are desired, that you desire, and that your people are going to want to purchase, that you are positioned, that you can actually execute the call of God on your life. So go ahead and join VIP. The link is in the chat. The link is in the chat. I just posted it. I'm ready. I'm ready like David to go into Ziklag. Observe. Take a look at what happened. Go before God together and find out what we need to do, what you need to do, how I can help you get fully activated. Make sure you have that community and that support so you could go and get back what's yours. It's going to take courage, boldness. The ones that they know that they know it's not overnight. It doesn't happen overnight. I mean, tell me in the chat. Tell me in the chat. Angel. Yes. You can go in your browser on the phone and hit www.jointruth.club. Jointruth.club. So Angel is coming into VIP. So welcome, Angel. And I love this because she's also in the community in Genesis, but we're going over things that I haven't gone over in Genesis. So I love this. And I see Rebecca, she's in VIP. Welcome, Rebecca, to VIP. I'm telling you, the time is definitely now. You all know that I operate prophetically. And so I love the VIP. I love the VIP because I can sit before you and go through the process with you and hear God and see the different blind spots that you have. I can see what's holding you back. And then I have a fivefold activation system that I help you identify what fivefold are you? How do you operate? Are you a apostle, prophet, evangelist, teacher, pastor? Each function, each mantle actually operates very differently. So it helps you identify exactly what products to create, what blueprint to create for your financial products. Okay? It helps you identify your marketing strategy, because a lot of times we might be graced for a little bit, but if we're operating in a certain way for too long, that is not how God created us, right? To operate, we can find ourselves exhausted. And we can find ourselves all of a sudden not getting the same results that we got last time. I have one of my students who was going through the process, and she had been working for years on this book, and we started working together within literally a 15-20 minute discussion. 15-20 minute discussion. She went and used the principles and the tips and the tools that we talked about according to how she was wired. And guess what? Within 2 weeks, she had her book written. She's now going to pre-sell her book. What took her so many years sitting there doing absolutely nothing, meeting with other coaches, being in multiple programs after multiple program, we were able to identify exactly how she was wired, and now she is having her book out for pre-sale. It's amazing. It's amazing. So I want to welcome Jill to VIP. I want to welcome Rebecca to VIP. I want to welcome Angel. She's signing up to VIP. Jill, did I mention Jill? Welcome to VIP. And I'm going to keep this VIP small because I want each and every person to be able to get time where we map out exactly what they need and how they're going to operate. And how they're going to operate. So go ahead to jointruth.club, jointruth.club, and you can go ahead and hit the join. You can hit the join. Hello, Kiki. Welcome, welcome. I'm going to give you a couple more minutes because I know some individuals are looking to be able to put the link into their browser. Because once I'm done, this video is coming down. There is no replay. There is no replay. No replay. The recording is actually going to go into the VIP. Hey, Balanta. Welcome, welcome. The recording is going to go into the VIP. You can go to jointruth.club. Jointruth.club and get a seat on the VIP. We're going to work on your blueprint. Make sure that you are operating in the exact fivefold model that you need to be operating in of how God designed and wired you. You're going to get all of the recordings of these 5 days of prophetic activation. I want serious entrepreneurs, generals that are ready to fully walk out the call of God in their life. Fully walk out the call of God in their life. We are going to work together. Balanta, come on. Come on. Join Truth. Join Truth.club. Join Truth.club. And you're going to join into the VIP. You're going to join in the VIP, and I'm going to be able to work with you one-on-one, and we're going to build that business. We're going to start that business, Balanta, because your voice needs to be heard. Your voice needs to be heard. We have our VIP sessions at 12 o'clock Eastern. All of them are recorded. You can send in your questions if you can't make it, but you can send in your questions ahead of time. And I'm going to add on another bonus day. I'm going to add on another bonus day. I know I might be a little crazy for doing this. But to my VIPs, the ones that I see are in VIP and that can take action, that are ready to take action, we're going to do a 2-hour deep dive. 1-to-1. 1-to-1. I'm going to give a 2-hour deep dive away because I'm going to sow seed. I want you to look at this as something different. It's sowing seed. You're thinking you're buying a program or you're buying this. No, no, no. You are sowing seed. Think about it that way. You're going to reap a harvest. You are investing in yourself because you know that you know that you know. Wisdom comes in what? Counsel. Wisdom is in counsel. That's what you have mentors for. I want you to be able to push past. Go to jointruth.club. CLUB. Valanta. Jointruth.club. I need you guys to cut the learning curve. I want you guys to cut the learning curve and not make the same mistakes that I've made. I don't want you to make the same mistakes that I've made. We don't have time for you to make those same mistakes. I need you to be able to step into where you are wired, how you are supposed to function, and I need you to operate because the generals need to arise. I need your mouth to be heard, your voice to be heard. I want your products to be out there. We have authors and speakers and teachers, course creators. We have people who should be doing masterminds, people who should be speaking on stages. I know that I'm speaking to you right now because you know it's time. Just like Valanta, she knows it's time. Absolutely. Absolutely, Angel. I'm proud of you, Angel. Angel is in. Angel is in. She's in the VIP. Valanta, she's on her way to the VIP. She's signing on. It is time, and we can't waver back and forth. We can't go back and forth right now. You know, we try to. We don't have time, or you know, our spouse is, you know, not supportive. Our mom's not supportive. They didn't get the vision, you did. We're not talking about dishonoring anybody, but they didn't get the vision, you did. And many times you're not producing because you're running around in a circle like I did for a long time. I've been in business for 20 years. And there's times that I built a brick and mortar and then I ended up not, you know, leaving the brick and mortar. And then I launched a course and then I didn't launch a course. And then, you know, I thought I should blog and then I thought I should podcast. And it was constant back and forth until God was like, are you ready? Are you really ready to build with me and partner with me? Are you really ready to understand how you're wired and really change and influence and impact the nation? Are you ready? Because right now you're doing it in your own strength. And I had to say yes. And when I said yes, man, when I said yes, the testing came just like David. The things happened. Belanta, tell me when you're in. Tell me when you're in VIP. Listen, you don't have to take the same bumps, bruises, and have the same scars that I have for 20 years. You could cut the learning curve. I'm not going to sit here and spend time with you in VIP and formulate a plan and do all this without looking at how you're wired. I'm not going to tell you that you should live stream your way to success because live streaming is how I operate. It's my function. It's my anointing. It's how I flow. But you might be a podcaster. You might be a blogger. You might be an author. You might be a speaker. You might have a mastermind. You might have a course. You might do one-on-one coaching. I don't know. But the beautiful thing about it is over 20 years in business, I've been able to identify how I operate, how others operate, and I've been able to have success and understanding in each and every area, whether it was a brick and mortar, right? Whether it was online, a networking affiliate, it didn't matter. And that's the beautiful part about it, is because when I sit with you, I'm able to work with you at your level because I've been there, I've done that. So I'm not asking you to do my model. I'm not sitting here telling you, okay, you're going to go do it exactly this way and have the same steps. No, I don't want that. I don't want you to clone me. I want you to be you. I mean, put a 1 in the chat. Do you want to build your business like you? Or do you want to go and build it like someone else that might or might not be your model? And okay, it's a Russian roulette. Okay, it is my model. That's great. I got success. But guess what? If it's not my model, I'm going to go back around and I'm back around and back around in a circle. Well, you hear the nagging of all those people, like just like David, right? You heard the nagging. You heard that you can't do this. You heard that you're just not cut out for this. No, I believe in you. I believe in you. Vanessa, come on in. Go to jointruth.club and get into the VIP. We will work out exactly how you're wired and exactly what kind of business you're going to launch. I promise you, as soon as you know, according to my 5-fold activation system, you are going to have your eyes just completely enlightened, and you are literally going to get to the place where you know exactly what to do and how to carry it out. We're also going to be able to build your blueprint, your prosperity blueprint, so you know exactly what to price your products at, exactly how many people you need to actually produce the income that you need to produce, above and beyond raising, you're having enough to feed your family and live, above and beyond that. I want you guys prosperous, not living paycheck to paycheck. That's the old wineskin. It's time for the new. So Vanessa, come on in. I would love to work with you. I would love to work with you. Go to jointruth.club, and let's get your business launched. I want you to launch it according to how God wired you. It's jointruth.club. CLUB. jointruth.club. And Belanta, when you're in, let me know that you're in. I know Angel's in. And like I said, we had Rebecca in and Jill in. We have Kim in. All right, good. Vanessa got it. Tell me when you're in, Vanessa. I want to congratulate you, because it's not easy to step out when your family and other people are telling you no. It's not easy when it's just you and God. You and God, and you know that you should be stepping out by faith. You don't really know what you're doing, where you're going, or how to do it, but you know that the time is now. And then you're in this place of, oh my gosh, and frustration, because guess what? Where are you going to go? You just have this word from God saying the time is now, but you are not quite sure how to walk it out. You might be the only entrepreneur in your family, or you might have tried business before and padiddled in it, but it didn't yield the result, and so you got discouraged because people think that it's going to take 2 months, 3 months, 6 months. This is a journey that you go through. But guess what? You can go through and get the model, the exact model that you need to build in, and understand the blueprint, the prosperity blueprint that is really designed for how you operate, how you're wired. And just like today, we talked about, I will not stay silent. There's the different ways that the word of God talks about of how not to stay silent. Tomorrow we're going to talk about stop running. Stop running. We're talking about the true generals arising. I want you to understand your area of influence and how you operate. What sphere of influence are you called to? Listen, I don't hold back. I don't care if you're paying $97 or $10,000 or $20,000 or $30,000. When you have me, you have me. I'm going to give you all of me. I'm going to make sure that you are going to get the clarity that you need to be able to operate in your fullest and highest capacity. And if you want to continue working with me to make sure that you have that support, that community, I'll help you with that too. But I really believe that it's important to invest in yourself and understand that there is such a thing as growing and launching and scaling a business according to how you function, according to how you are designed to function. And it's really beautiful because of not only the 20 years experience that I have, right? But it's also amazing because God has just blessed me with the ability to operate in the prophetic. And so I'm able to see things and see blind spots. And I just have a natural capacity to operate prophetically. And so this brings a total different kind of mentoring. Any of my students can say that. They've worked with me long enough. They know. So Vanessa, tell me when you're in. Balanta, tell me when you're in. Because I'm going to take this broadcast down immediately. I'm going to take this broadcast down immediately right after I am done. So like I said, I just want to make sure I welcome Rebecca and Kimberly and Jill and Kendra and Angel. Okay, so Balanta says she's on the Twitter page. She's on the Twitter page and she doesn't see anything. Let me go ahead. I'm going to go ahead to my Twitter and make sure that I get you. It's jointruth.club. Because again, I don't want anybody to be behind, to be left. All right, so I'm going to do jointruth.club. And I am going to tag Balanta. I'm going to do it right now because I like the intimacy. So it's Balanta, C-E-L-A-M-I. All right, let me go ahead and get it. C-E-L. A-M-I. All right, so I went ahead and I tagged you in it. I wanted to make sure I got it right. I'm making sure that you're there. Balanta, C-E-L-A-M-I. Okay, I went ahead and I put it, I gave it to you so that way you have it. I thank all of you guys. You guys are all amazing for watching the training. If you want to be able to get access to the videos, if you want to get access to the videos, hello, Johanna. Hey, 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 beautiful. If you want access to the videos and VIP, you can go to jointruth.club. Jointruth.club. And I'm going to go ahead. Like I said, as I promised, there is no replay. There is no replay. All right, guys. Again, I want you guys to operate in how you're wired. You guys are absolutely phenomenal. You guys are amazing. And I know that the time is now. God is really calling the generals. He's really calling the generals. And I'm looking for those serious entrepreneurs that are ready to take action. The ones that are ready to be completely activated. Understand how they're wired. And start making an impact and influence. An impact and influence. Vanessa, you tried to sign in? You tried to sign in? Here, I'm gonna get you a direct link just to make sure if you're signing in on your phone or let me go ahead. Hallelujah. Jointruth.club. All right, here we go. So I am actually going to inbox you. All right, tell me if you get this link because I'm going to go ahead and inbox you. Jointruth.club. Jointruth.club. I went ahead and inboxed you. All right. Okay, good. I went ahead and inboxed you. You could probably go into your browser and hit jointruth.club and you can register for VIP right there. Oh, okay, so you're already in. Welcome. So you already created? That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Okay, so you already created your password and email. Okay, good. All right, welcome to Nisha. Welcome to Nisha to the prophetic activation. She just joined. And Vanessa, she joined. All right, I believe that I have I will be back here at 7 for day 4. Okay, I'll be back at 7 for day 4. All right, everyone, and I am going to go ahead and sign off. I'm going to see you on day 4. I adore and I love you guys. And as I said, if you want any of the replays, you can you'd have to join VIP in order to do that. Okay. Okay, awesome. All right, guys, I will see you in VIP tomorrow. Bye.